Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is all about retinols. So I will be explaining a little bit more about retinols and their benefits and what it does for your skin. I'll be talking through some myths and some facts, and I will also just kind of explain my journey with retinols and kind of what I've learned along the way and some products that I recommend. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about retinols, then keep watching. Okay, so first things first, before I continue, is I'm not a doctor. So what I'm telling you now is just my own opinions. I'm a qualified beauty therapist in facials. So everything that I've learned and everything that I'll talk about is things that I've learned at college, but also my own research and my own experience as well. So what I would say is if you do want to start your journey with retinols kind of after this, then I would encourage you to do a bit of additional research online, and especially with your skin type, if you have any skin concerns or anything like that, do go online and do a little bit of further research. There's so many articles out there that will help you. So what is retinol? Retinol is an acid and it increases collagen. So it is an exfoliating acid which increases cell renewal and collagen. And collagen is what kind of creates that elasticity in our skin. So therefore you will find retinols in a lot of anti-aging products, but not all. So that's one thing to note, is that there are other products out there, but retinol has got such a good reputation based on kind of proven studies that it works. Which is why about a year and a half ago I introduced it to my skincare routine. In terms of, did I do it too late? Potentially, but there are studies to say that your best kind of bet is to anything over 25. So if you're under 25, perhaps you don't need it quite yet, but over 25, skin starts to lose its elasticity, and unfortunately we then have to start working a little bit harder to look after it. That said, don't stop looking after it when you're younger. So retinol comes in a serum format usually, or can be in a cream as well. So you'll usually find it in a kind of a serum bottle like so. Okay, let's put it on the table here. There are so many myths and so many facts, and sometimes you don't know what to believe. Some key things that I believe myself through just tons of research is an acid. At the end of the day, I did my research before I put it on my face. So one fact is that it will not work straight away. You do have to work at it. So if you start using retinol, start low. Start at a lower dosage. It comes in percentages often comes in a cream, but it can come in percentages. So I actually started with the Ordinary. I still have my first bottle here, retinol in 0.2 in Squalane. And I say my first bottle, I actually repurchased this, but I went again in with the same percentage. So you can up your dosage once you feel ready to, but I stayed at the same percentage. I don't know why, I just kind of trusted that percentage. But you can go up to, I think the Ordinary goes up to maybe 2%. It kind of goes up in like 0.2, 0.5. I haven't done enough research to know exact percentages, but start low and start carefully. So the best way to start with a retinol, whether it's this, whether it's in a cream or anything like that, is test a bit on your skin, especially if you have very sensitive skin. So I tested it here, left it overnight, felt a bit of a tingle, but I used it a little bit and it was fine. I woke up and I was fine. So then I used it once at night. I used it once and then went to sleep, and when I put it on, my skin was quite red. And I was careful. If it started to really burn, I'd know, right, wash it off. But it didn't, and it was fine. And then I upped, every week I upped. So I went from once a week to twice a week to 3 times a week to 4 times a week. Okay, so I've just kind of increased that amount so that my skin got used to it, and that seemed to have worked for me. And since then I have kind of gone to other products that are higher percentage, but I do really like the Ordinary one. That's a great product. So I'll kind of go through products in a little bit after I've talked about retinol in itself. Some facts about retinol: you should only use it at night. There are some contradictory articles out there. I believe you should only use it at night, mainly because sunlight breaks it down, but it also means that if you use it at night, regardless, you should be using SPF anyway, but make sure to use SPF the day after, because your skin has been exposed to an acid and you are more likely to then burn, and you don't want it to have any kind of side effects or anything like that. Another thing with retinol is it doesn't work straight away, so it does take time, and it's definitely not an overnight product. It's something that you will notice over time, and I really truly did notice a difference to my skin. I noticed the texture was just kind of improving, and I noticed that I was just stressing a little bit less about the lines on my forehead. That's probably where I found myself a couple of years ago. Just whether time of my life, I don't know, who knows, but I was just finding that I was getting kind of those quite heavy lines here. They're still there. Botox will probably help that out. I noticed that I was stressing less and less about them. I was noticing them less, which I do then put down to my retinol. It's a lovely night oil as well, so it feels usually quite light rather than like a rich cream, but it can come in a cream format. But yeah, use at night and use sparingly at first, and pat it on. The best way to use it, pat it on. So I'll perhaps go through one and just show you how I use it as well. So another thing with retinol to note, it didn't happen to me. Perhaps I've not used the strongest retinol yet, so it still could happen, but a lot of people do find with retinols that your skin can have quite a bad effect to it at first. This can include flaking, irritation, redness, very dry skin, so it can, whilst it's repairing your skin, it can actually then end up being a bit of a abrasive product essentially. So bear that in mind. One thing I would say is, if you are currently in lockdown, you are working from home for the foreseeable until you know, perhaps now is a great time, if you are concerned, to just try out products like that you feel might have an effect. Because I know for one that if I knew about that and I was worried, that perhaps I'd worry then going into the office the next day about what people would think about my skin, which is so vain. Who cares what they think? But let's be real, some of us don't really want to end up going into the office with flaky skin, so now might be a great time to try out retinol. Another thing I would point out as well with flaky skin and things like that is that if you suffer with eczema, psoriasis or rosacea, retinol may not be the serum for you. Do your research, but due to the way that it works under the skin, this may actually cause more irritation and more redness, and unfortunately it might not be the product for you. But do your research, seek some medical advice, and if you're on any kind of treatment or any medication or anything like that, just check the two. Don't cross over and kind of do anything the other way. There are a few articles out there about salicylic acid and retinols not mixing. So if you're using an acid like that and then you use retinols, that actually the two will contradict and neither will work. And that said, Dermalogica have just brought out a product that have the two in. So there's so much out there. So if you do start your research, be aware you might be a bit overwhelmed by it. But yeah, I've talked about SPF, I've talked about using it only at night and in small dosages. One other fact as well is is surrounding how often you use it from a long period of time, whether you should use it more than a 3-month period and give your skin a break. I'm going to leave that for you. I'm going to tell you that because I don't use it every day, I don't give my skin a break. I use it kind of every other day, but I don't give my skin a long-term break. Whether that's right or wrong is up to opinion. I guess if it feels like it's still working for me, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to enjoy using the product. I do find it an enjoyable product to use. It doesn't stink, especially the Ordinary one. It's just a lovely one to put on. And finally, I think the last fact that I'm going to give you, which is just kind of surface facts, is if you are pregnant, don't use it. That's just hold off. Same with if you're breastfeeding, maybe not. But once baby's here and you're not breastfeeding, perhaps then look into using it. But there are quite a few things online to say don't use it if you're pregnant. So breastfeeding, I'm not sure. There might be other things online, but do your research. But yeah, I think just avoid it if you are pregnant, but do your research. So let's talk about the products, because talking about retinol is quite intense. I feel like I've got a bit of a sweat on just talking because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Always do your research. It's an acid. Always do your research. Go easy. I don't want to be the reason for you having sore skin, so I'm not going to take any responsibility. This is just my opinions, but do your research. I think it's a great product. I really feel like it has helped my skin. That and probably some other bits that are in my skincare routine. But let's talk about some products that I've got. So I've talked about the Ordinary Retinol. So this is about £6 from ASOS, and it has a 6-month shelf life or product life once opened, but it's great. So the next product I've got, which I feel like I've kind of upped my retinol game, is the Lunar Sunday Riley Sleeping Night Oil, which has retinol in. And again, it kind of, the packaging says it's great for reduces appearance of pores and wrinkles, and it has retinol in. So this is more pricey. This is more kind of higher end retinol if you want to use it, and I'm sure it's a much higher percentage. But that's really lovely as well. Another product I've got, I've not actually tried it, but this is the Algenist, I believe. It's a vegan retinol. I'm not sure if Sunday Riley is vegan. Perhaps have a look at that. So this is the Elevate Retinol Serum. Again, it's a serum, so most of these are serums. And I actually read today that, Dermalogica have one, and I trust Dermalogica products a lot, so I would encourage, if anyone's kind of a bit unsure, I do trust Dermalogica a lot. Olay, I believe, have one, and there's a huge waiting list. But yeah, so kind of have a look at some reviews. And actually, this isn't the eye cream, but I've kind of got it here for show. This is a sample of the Magic cream, but the Charlotte Tilbury eye cream has retinol in it. So one thing I would say with eye and face creams is, if you're using a retinol, try and avoid your eye area. Try and get a retinol that is designed for eyes, so an eye cream with retinol in. The reason that I say that is because usually eye ones have a slightly lower dosage and your eye area is so sensitive. So yeah, Charlotte Tilbury have one in their eye cream, and their eye cream has very, very good reviews. And I just wanted to talk about this as well, because I was intrigued as to whether the Estée Lauder, turn it round, Advanced Night Repair had retinol in, because this is an incredibly popular serum. Advanced Night Repair is a bestseller, and most people say it's a staple. If they start this, it's a staple in their skincare routine. It actually doesn't have retinol in it. So I found that actually quite interesting, that it doesn't have retinol in. So there will be other products out there that are great for anti-aging. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of, because I'm sure there'll be some products that you're maybe thinking has it. But I would encourage you as well, if you use a night cream or you use a serum that isn't specifically for a, you know, like a niacinamide serum or anything like that, have a look, just out of interest, have a look at the ingredients and see if retinol is already in it. Because if you're finding actually that you feel like you're kind of getting great skin, have a look at what ingredients are in there and follow trend. You'll probably find that retinol is in quite a few of your products. If you have a huge skincare collection, you may find that retinol is already in your products and you don't need to double dosage. So if you've got a night cream that has retinol in it, no need to go and buy a retinol serum. You don't want to be overdoing it. But I think L'Oreal Regenerist, am I saying that right? But I think that has retinol in it as well. But usually you will see retinol as like quite an obvious ingredient because of the properties of retinol is so well known. I think a lot of products know that will be a kind of key seller for them. So those are just a few of my favourites, and usually what I do, I'll do this with my cheaper ones so I don't waste too much, but it's usually in kind of this format, and I'll just do 1, 2, maybe 3, but I'll just do 2 for now. And I would pat my palms together like so. I wouldn't rub too much, but here we go. And I would then place on my skin, I'm not going to do it because I've got makeup on, place on my skin and on my forehead, across here, avoiding too near the eyes. I do actually go around my neck. I don't know if that's encouraged, but hey, I'm worried about my neck. And yeah, and leave that to kind of soak in. And when do I use that in my skincare routine? Goes a little bit like this. I do first cleanse, take off the makeup, second cleanse to cleanse, a toner or a tonic, and usually I will go then in with my retinol. So I'll then pat it in. I've cleaned my face, it's ready for the serum to soak in, cleaned my face, and then I'll pop a little bit of an eye cream where I've left the gaps, and I'll let it soak in just for a couple of minutes. It's quite a great one, but then I'll use my night cream. So you can use a night cream, just be careful not to just swish it off. At the end of the day, it's in your skin. And one thing to note about retinol and why it is great, you've got your layer of skin here, and your night cream, your face cream tends to sit around here, and your serums tend to go in another layer. So that is working further into your skin, getting past the collagen. If you look at those skin pictures where you can see all the layers of the skin, this is a science lesson now, but I won't go into all the names of it because you're testing me, but it works in a little bit deeper, so you're then going to get your serums in further. But to give you, look, I've still got this lovely shine. There, go and wash it off now. But I hope that's helped clear up some retinol, just questions that you might have had that you've asked me as well. If you've got any questions, let me know. If you've got any products, retinol products that you really recommend, comment below, because that could help someone else out as well. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, just comment below on any ingredients or anything you want me to cover. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.